derogatory words. You're not using verbs, but your adjectives of profanity tend to hurt. Was murder in the first, he committed suicide. Verbally indirect, you're worried if you facing time. It was all fine, chilling in the lunch line. He cut me, I pulled in the door. Star Wars, studying fat and swallowed a fork. He just cried, ran off, I had no remorse. I didn't know he would end up a rotten corpse. Didn't throw it, hurt your soul. But I mean, he started it first, but you regret it. You're sorry, you did it. You wish you would've stopped when Fatty said to quit it. He went home, mad, saw his dad in the kitchen. Asking for the rope like he was flying kites with it. Went into the attic, took his branch rocking chair, tied it to the beam, making sure there was no one there. Got up, put the rope on his neck. Thought about the bullies, always trying to gain rep. He was just a victim, never did anything. Looked at the ground and thought you ready for death. The last words uttered out that kid's mouth said, yes.
Hello, my name is Xander, and this is my idea on if texting should be allowed in class. I think texting in class is not a good thing. I think that if kids need to text in between classes for an emergency, that should be allowed. Also, teens text a lot and can be interrupting class. Texting can be used for a good reason, though. Texting allows kids to communicate, check out on things, and simply have fun. Kids without a phone simply don't have to worry about getting in trouble in class, though. But it is an inconvenience that you cannot have an emergency text. I think texting should be allowed during certain times of the day, like the bus, lunch, maybe like break in between classes, as I said before. This is why I think that texting should be allowed sometimes. I have a phone, but I barely use it. It's like a really old phone, and I don't think I have texting on it. Yeah. So, Deanna, do you think texting should be allowed in class?
I think that texting should be allowed for every teen because if they have a cell phone, it's their parents are the ones who most likely bought it for them. So, like, you can't say that, like, it's doing something behind their parents' backs, like other stuff. And because their parents buy the phones, and there's some phone plans where you can see the bill and, like, every text that you get or send from that phone. And texting and chatting in class are, like, not good because people don't really pay attention in class. Like, I got my phone taken away the other day because I was texting. I also think that it's a good idea because when you talk on the phone, like on your cell phone, it kills some brain cells and it causes brain cancer. If you can't be like fit, and also you can't talk to like 10 people like at a time.
So, Alex, what do you think about texting?
I think that texting should not be allowed in class. Texting in class will draw you away and distract you from your class work. If you are texting in class, you will not be focused on schoolwork and your teacher. I think that texting during break or recess is okay because students would not be in class. Texting during class should not be allowed, but during free time for emergencies, it should be allowed. If you text in class, it would be harder for other people in the class to focus and concentrate. At times, texting could be helpful, but students should not take advantage of it. Also, out of school, a lot of students text and they get very addicted to it. Sometimes kids get really addicted and they say like stupid things in texting. Once I was on the internet and I was on eBay, and there was and I was looking for a phone case for my friend, and I saw actually something that you could put on the steering wheel and it would hold your phone in so you could text, and I thought that was so sad because people should not be texting and driving at the same exact time. So Aiden, what do you think about texting?
I think texting shouldn't be allowed in class because it will distract students from learning. At the school we have a rule that says do not interfere with other people's learning. But I think that rule should be changed to not interfere with your learning and other people's learnings. If students are distracted from learning, they won't have a good life later on. Also, if you text while you drive, which I've seen many people do, it can be very dangerous. I was in the car with my aunt last summer, and the person was texting while she was driving, and she wasn't even looking. She ran the red light and crashed into our back and wrecked the back of our truck. it was really scary, and it was scary, I guess, and, yeah.
So, Lucas, what do you think about texting?
I think that texting is good and bad. I mean, we've all heard opinions of people regarding teens and their use of modern technology. It's probably not that anyone has a problem with the fact that teenagers text, but to what degree? Overusing tech is not good. If in any way, whether it costs money or it makes it go crazy and not work, using it is wrong. Overusing it is wrong. The reason I got a phone is to watch my sister, even though she has a phone. But she can be not responsible. Like, I could give her candy and she would do anything I said. And to use it for emergencies, not for games or phone calls.
Did anybody's opinion did anybody's opinion of texting get changed as a result of listening to what you had to say?
Texting should not be allowed in school anyway because it would totally distract you from your work. And I think texting should only be allowed during break or recess time.
Does anybody notice what we have in common as a class in our thinking? Say it again.
We all don't think texting is allowed in class.
Who else? Thank you, Aiden. Who else notices something we have in common? Olivia?
We all think that texting is bad for you.
Is that true? Do we all think texting is bad?
We all think that texting is good for emergencies.
Excellent. That's true. Anybody else have any closing thoughts?
Well, we all agree that you shouldn't text in class.
Excellent.
And class is not good.
We're back. You're tuned into Radio Uprising, youth-produced radio on 91.3 FM WVKR. You just heard a youth-produced song called Darker Thoughts and the conclusion of the radio roundtable discussion all about texting.
So let's continue our in-studio discussion about texting. A lot of students brought up a really important issue surrounding texting during that radio roundtable, and that is texting while driving. So I know most of our youth DJs here in studio don't drive yet, but I'm sure you understand the risks associated with texting behind the wheel. So I was a little curious to learn more about this issue, so I did some online research and found out that in 29 states there are laws that ban texting while driving for everyone. That's including New York State. In 7 states, there are laws that ban texting behind the wheel for new drivers, but that leaves 14 states that don't have any laws about texting while driving. And I don't know, that kind of surprised me. So do you guys think that there should be a national law banning the act? And what are your thoughts about texting while driving in general? Remy?
Well, I don't think texting while driving is a good thing. I mean, it'll just get you into a crash. And now that the iPhone 4S came out with Siri, you don't really need to be texting physically. You can just talk to your phone and it'll text for you. So I think they should make a rule that you just can't text in any state in the USA.
Yep. John?
Well, what Remy just said about the Siri thing, that sounds a lot just like talking on the phone with somebody.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, I know that's not, I agree with the laws. I think it should be a nationwide law.
Yep.
But you can just talk on the phone.
In New York State, it's illegal to talk on the phone while you're driving.
Oh, well, I mean, like, can you use the,
I think you can
headphones?
use Bluetooth.
Yeah, I think you use those.
Yeah, Rachel, what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of friends who text while drive, and I mean, they've never gotten into a crash or anything, but just recently, in Pauling High School, more than one student in the past year has died because of drunk driving or texting while driving and things like that. And I have a friend who knew someone personally because of that, and it's really sad, and I don't think that people are really thinking about the consequences while they're doing it. They're just thinking about the here and the now, and I have to answer this text message, and then they get hurt.
Yeah, Remy?
Well, to John's thing about talking on the phone like Siri,
Yeah.
maybe they could come out with some Bluetooth thing where you can have an earpiece and then speak to your phone through your earpiece that texts for you. So it's like talking on the phone but also texting.
Well, okay, so I got the new iPhone, and I have not used Siri while I've been driving, but I have used it to text while I'm lying in bed. That kind of doesn't sound great, but my point is it does work, and so maybe I think that's, if you're gonna do it, I guess it would be better to use something like that while driving. To follow up your thing about the headphones, I know Siri works through headphones, so maybe it works with Bluetooth pieces too. So yeah, do you guys have any more thoughts on this? No? Alright, well, thanks for sharing your opinions.
Remember, we still want to hear what you have to say about the show, so give us a call in the studio now, 845-437-7178. We're going to take a quick break from our talk about texting to listen to a piece Charles and Nick made about individuality. Stay tuned to Radio Uprising.
Individuality and being different is frowned upon in today's society. That kid who sits in the back of the classroom, dresses in all black and listens to heavy metal, is seen as an outcast because they don't fit today's standards of society. These people are called emo, goth, or freaks because they are different. That kid who's a little slower than the average student is looked upon as a lesser being. These people could have special gifts or talents or skills, but they are being called slow and retarded by their peers.